Thanks for joining the Real Mom Gang podcast, where 4 new moms bonded over their obsession with baby classes and keeping it real. Here's your hosts, Amanda, Chantel, Jenna, and Lauren.
Woo! Hi,
guys! Hi! So I just wanted to take a quick moment today to thank our guests, which were our husbands last week. We had a really great feedback about that, so we've decided to have more guests. And we will have someone at the end of November, and we already have someone also booked for mid-December. So stay tuned for some details about that. We're really excited about it, and we think you guys will be too.
Exciting.
Speaking of husbands, how's your sex life been since the baby?
Let's just get right to it.
Yeah, jumping right in.
Non-existent.
Took us a good, longer than the 6 weeks. Recovery time.
Yeah.
So I know after 6 weeks for us, we did try because we counted down. That's the longest we actually have gone without having sex.
I think
6
us
So
weeks.
there was a big countdown.
Yeah, like we were actually like, okay, when is everything going to be good? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure after like the 6 week check, we're good. We got to 6 weeks. I haven't had my check yet, but I was like, let's just do it. Let's just try this out. And I know like we got all ready and prepared for it. And then as soon as like we were about to, I was like, nope, it hurts. Can't do it. Like I was so scared. I think it's because I tore that I was so scared that I would like re-tear open. I don't even know if that can actually happen.
I don't know, but I felt like
that. But
too.
I was scared. And then
Ooh,
I
baby,
thought,
you're so
I think
wet.
because
Oh, that's blood. Tore it back open.
could you imagine?
Oh my god.
So I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this. I think it was like more my nerves and like me clenching up that really caused maybe more pain because I was so tense.
100%.
So after he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to do this if it's going to hurt you. Like, of course, we're not, like, sex is for fun. You're supposed to enjoy it. So then we didn't do it. And then I went for my checkup. And the doctor was like, I told her, I was like, I still find it very painful. We did try to have sex and it just like didn't work. And she's like, well, you're completely healed. So I don't really know why it'd be painful. And
so,
she's like, I really
you shouldn't
think
have had any issues.
Yeah, and she's like, there's no way you can tear back open. Like, you're good. And then she's like,
know.
here, let me see how things are for you. And she basically like put on a glove, lubed up her fingers, and like put them in me. I was like, okay, that wasn't bad. I've never had a girl finger me before. First time.
You're like, can I get your number?
Yeah, needless to say, we've been seeing each other since.
See, I had a C-section, and they told me I had to wait 6 weeks, which I was really like, okay, why? But I guess because your cervix needs to close back up, and I was nervous to have sex for the first time, and nothing even came out of there.
But you still had a big like incision, down in that area.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that was nerve-wracking, but I remember the first time we tried, Preston was in the bassinet beside our bed, and he wasn't sleeping yet, but we were like, oh, like, if he makes noise, like, we'll stop. But it was so awkward. We were just going at it. Well, I wouldn't say going at it. It was pretty...
Pretty
the first pretty tame. It lasted like 4 minutes, I'd say.
Especially after being so long,
exactly.
right?
And Preston was just like oohing and eyeing in the bassinet beside us. We just heard him like, So
it's like, this is how I was made.
Yeah, exactly. Front row show. So, it's really awkward. I guess the first couple of times we're both like,
you still don't know.
It's like you should be like doing
different.
it. Yeah, it's like we should get back on track and do this, but on the other hand, you're like, I'm so tired, and the baby. Yeah. So the other night, because Josh works away on shift work, he came home the other night, and we were like, Preston was in his crib for the first time in a long time at night, and we started like going at it. Actually, how it started is I found a picture, somebody shared something on Facebook of like a guy with a mushroom cut and was like, this is what this is how all the 90s guys got laid. And I know Josh used to have a mushroom cut, so I showed him the picture. I was like, ooh, like, I remember you had a mushroom cut. Like, do you want to get laid? And, like, and totally like, just started going at it. So,
oh my God. I knew that was so sexy.
It was so mushroom cuts are sexy. It reminds me of a circumcised penis.
All of my crushes,
doesn't it?
All of my crushes back in the day, all the guys had
yeah,
100%.
So we were like, how could we spice it up tonight? Well, no, actually, I was like...
Did he buy a wig?
I was like, how could we... I was like, do you want to go downstairs and do it on the couch? And he was like, okay, let's go. And it was like... It's just so, like, a simple thing of, like, doing it on the couch, but, like, we were like, when was the last time we did it on the couch?
So it was spontaneous.
Yeah, being spontaneous. And then, so the next thing is we're going to do it on the stairs.
Oh.
That's the next thing. Yeah.
You'll have to let us know how that works out.
Let you know.
Maybe
you never know what maybe
Yeah, so that was my little sexcapade.
It is, I was like Chantel, I tore as well, but we waited till well after 6 weeks, because we went in for, you know, the checkups and whatnot, so we did, I think it was the 6-week checkup, and I had said, like, things, like, still don't feel very comfortable, and so she's like, okay, well, you know, like, let me see, right?
Does she lube up her fingers?
Well, no. So because I tore,
I had dry.
Yeah. No, but because I tore, the stitches hadn't all dissolved.
Oh.
There were like still pieces of stitches that she was like, oh well, let me just like cut these and take them out. So she's like pulling out pieces of stitches.
Gosh.
I look over at Jordan's face. It's just like, yeah, we'll wait as long as you need. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So it was, I mean, they say 6 weeks, but we waited till like well after that just to make sure everything was good, everything was healed, so that there's no more stitches.
After like my experience with my doctor, afterwards I went home and I'm like, okay, Eric, we're safe to do it. My doctor's fingered me. We're good.
He was probably like, oh, what?
I told him, I was like, it was most likely my nerves. I think I was just really tense because I was just, I don't know, I just had it in me. Like, we haven't had sex for so long. You're, like, your whole body has changed.
Well,
like,
the last time
your
anything
muscles
happened down
are
there,
different.
it had a baby.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, there's like trauma.
Yeah.
It's trauma. So that night we tried again and it was okay. I had decided not to go back on birth control. So we've been using condoms and lube. So like that's helped out.
Yeah.
I decided not to go back on birth control because we do potentially want to have another baby. And I know, like, for me, myself, birth control really affects my hormones.
Yeah.
So, like, my skin breaks out. I get all crazy, and it takes me a long time to adjust to it. Yeah. And I hate that adjustment period. So I'm like, I don't want to have to go on birth control and, like, go through my skin flaring up and all these, like, hormonal, like, outbursts of me crying and being emotional and moody. And I was like, I just don't want to do it. So I was like, you know what?
I think
we're going to use condoms. And then eventually, when we do have another baby, then you can go get fixed. And then we'll just never have to worry about it again. So I'm just not going to take birth control. But I found that now that we're using lube, it's helped things a lot too. Yeah. I'm still kind of sensitive down there. Like there's one spot that's more tender, and I don't know if it will ever go away.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal though, in that like you said, it's a trauma. Like there's a lot that happens down there that it
take a long
probably
time to
doesn't feel the same as it used to. Just with the baby came out, so
well,
things are going to be all different.
Yeah. For us, like we also waited longer than the 6 weeks because I think a lot of it was nerves for me. But when we did, I was super nervous and it definitely didn't feel like it used to. And I tore as well, but I kind of feel like I was expecting, I don't know, maybe just because of all those jokes and stuff out there, but I was expecting it to be a lot, like, looser.
Tighter than ever.
But yeah, kind of felt tighter than ever, like almost I got an extra stitch or something. I don't know. But it was also super uncomfortable. And yeah, Jordan was concerned too about like hurting me or anything like that. So I figured like, yeah, we should, use lube more. So I am really kind of shy and stuff like that about sex talk and
yeah, we could tell. You should see how red she is. She's like getting hives on her chest as we speak.
So I got up the nerve anyways. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some lube and I'm going to like come home with it and surprise Jordan and like so that he'd know that like let's do
I've
this.
never bought my own
I've
lube
never
ever.
bought lube. I've never bought condoms. Like I can barely ask, like my doctor for like birth control or anything like that. Like I'm just
Thank
a weirdo.
God for self-checkout.
Yeah.
Am I right?
So, that's exactly why I felt comfortable buying it. So I'm in the grocery store. I buy groceries too, so that I don't just have that.
So you're not the
in my
one
hand.
item
You
that
don't
you're
just
like
have your
going to
duct
the counter
tape,
with
your lube.
Yeah, some rope, and a shovel. And I buy it, and then I get home, and I'm all so proud of myself. And I was like, I got bread, I got blah, blah, blah to Jordan. And I was like, and I got lube. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then I start going through the bags, and it's gone. I go back to the car, it's not in there. So somewhere between the self-checkout and my mom SUV, it fell out of the bag.
It slipped out the bag.
And so I say this to Jordan, and he's like, well, it is pretty slippery.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
Someone's lucky day, they're just walking
Yeah,
along,
they're
there's
like,
a-
it's a sign.
But could
Yeah.
you imagine if you were walking and it slipped out of your bag and someone's like, oh,
Oh,
excuse me,
I
miss, you've dropped your
Yeah.
lube.
I'm super thankful that didn't happen, because can you imagine what I would have
Some
done?
little old man or something, like, ma'am.
This little 80-year-old, excuse me, ma'am, you've dropped your lube.
Yeah.
Thank you, I was
This
going
is
to use
the
that
same-
for baking.
Yeah.
This is the same brand I use.
Oh
my God.
Uh,
Send a little old lady.
Yeah.
Things have dried up since.
Oh my God. Well, on the topic of sex, I was telling my mother-in-law about our podcast this weekend. And I was like, you should search us up on the web, www.therealmomgang.com.
Oh, God.
Okay, so instead of searching us up, like putting in our actual email address, she went on Google and just
I
put
know where this is going.
Real Mom Gang on
Oh
Google
my
search.
God.
Okay,
And
so
it was actually a bang gang.
a gang bang. So she's sitting on the couch and she searches it and she goes, what? Real amateur, gang bang, fuck, cum shot, orgy, Russian mature mom, gang bang. And I'm like, what? And she's reading this out to me.
She's like, what?
I actually took a snapshot. I'm like,
This is
what are
not
you
our
reading? She's like, is this your website? And I was like, I swear to God, we are not gangbanging. So I'm like, what are... So I had to get her to take a screenshot. And it actually, in quotation, says real mom gangbang. Xvideos.com. But anyways,
Amazing.
yeah.
So just to be clear, it's
That is not
www.therealmomgang.com.
Yeah, not real mom gangbang.
Your mom was probably horrified. Like, what have
She
you...
was like, what kind of website podcast are you girls running? No wonder
And
why you're so
also-
excited about it. And no wonder why you had the husbands on last night. No wonder why you asked me to watch Preston. It just all started like
my
making
God.
sense to her.
Together? Oh my
Oh,
God.
we did have our garage door half up. So.
And for anybody listening, here in Airdrie where we live, we're known for like a swinging city. We're not swingers.
But apparently that's
But
the
apparently
cue.
that's the cue. If your garage door is open, it means that you're swingers. So we all went over to Chantel's house to podcast the other night. And Jenna's house. Oh yeah, Jenna's the swinger, not Chantel. And we were talking about the whole garage door scenario. And then when we left, I was in the cab with Josh and I texted her as a joke saying, hey, your garage door is wide open. And she was like, what? Shut up. No, it's not. And I'm like, just kidding. No, it's not. And then the next day she went down and actually saw that her garage door was wide open.
I think Jordan was trying to do
So
a
Jordan
little
might be
joke,
the swinger.
and then forgot to close it.
Oh.
Well, Eric's kind of, we don't have a garage.
Yeah.
So
We don't
I guess
either.
we are a part of the swingers Club.
Yeah.
You guys can borrow mine.
We have a parking pad. What does that mean?
A parking pad. That's
It's
just
always
a free-for-all.
open.
Yeah. It's always open.
It's always open.
So, you know, the subject of sex, how do you guys feel about your bodies after pregnancy and labor and surgery? And
It's, for me, actually, I've had a lot of, like, I don't know, I like mixed feelings. Sometimes I'm really proud of my body for what it's done. Like, I birthed this
Made a
baby.
human.
I made a human. Like, how amazing is that? Like, women's bodies are amazing. Like, it's crazy what they do. But at the same time, like, for me, I've always been, like, smaller, more petite, and when I got pregnant, I gained 50 pounds, so, like, that was a little devastating for me because I've never seen myself like that. I also I grew so much out that I have stretch marks, like, everywhere.
yeah.
I have them all up and down my sides, I have them all over my belly, I got them on my boobs, everywhere.
Yeah.
And, everyone always says, don't worry, like, they'll fade, they'll go away, but for me, like,
It's shocking at
yeah,
first.
I'm like, oh my god, like, I don't like the way that my stomach looks anymore. I don't like having all these marks everywhere. I don't like that I have this flabby skin in the front anymore. I do like that my boobs have gotten bigger. Like, that's
Your
fantastic.
boobs look great.
I used to have, like,
They're actually
A, B
flopped out
cup.
right now because Sally's
Feeding
eating
my
and they
baby.
look phenomenal.
They're, like, squished in her face, and I'm like, I've never had, like, I used to have, like, an A cup,
Oh,
B
really?
cup, yeah, and I
Wow.
went to a double D, so I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Eric's
yeah.
like, yes!
Hence, like, the stretch marks going from, like, being an A cup to, like,
Yeah.
double D is, like,
Yeah.
crazy. So, yeah, every time I, like, look in the mirror, I'm like, I don't like the way my body looks, but at the same time, I'm like, well, this is me now,
Yeah.
and I just have to, like, adapt to it, and I don't know, build that confidence in myself again, and
Yeah.
just be happy with myself.
I always think things could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think all of us, like, pretty much, me too, I gained 50 pounds. I was always really petite, worked out 5 days a week, ate really well, and then gained 50 pounds. And while I was pregnant, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, who cares? I'll work it off once the baby comes, and then the baby comes, and it's like,
6
who has
months
time
later.
to work
Yeah.
out? And I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm up a lot. I
Priorities
need
just
to
kind
eat.
of changed too. You're
Your
like,
priorities
you know what?
your
We're working
priorities
so
change.
hard right now. I'm gonna eat that cupcake.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you're kind of
I'm
like,
gonna
who
treat
am I
myself.
trying to impress?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, my husband loves me, and he
Yeah.
always says, like,
Eric's so
compliments me on my
yeah,
body, so
supportive.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
And you
well,
know what?
I should
I
worry
know
about it.
everybody has their own things, but trust us, you look great.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
you
look
do.
really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You all
do.
do.
Hello.
I know.
But it is true. You have to, you have the baby and you're like, my body is amazing. Like, somehow
Yeah.
it grew this, it created this little human being.
Shifted
Yeah.
all your organs,
And-
just
Yeah.
make space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Crazy.
such
Crazy.
an amazing thing that I know for me after a while I was like, I don't even care how it looks. Like, it's just such a, crazy experience. But, that's at first. And then after a while you're like, okay, I'd like
You're like,
to
I
look
like
how
to
I used to.
shed a couple of pounds
Let's go
and
back
tone
to
up.
normal
Yeah.
now.
See, I've always been told that, like, breastfeeding, you'll burn so many calories that your weight is just gonna drop off.
For some
Like,
it does, but some it actually holds on, and they say once you stop
okay,
breastfeeding,
I
it'll
think
come off.
that's my issue.
See, and I think you and I are different because, breastfeeding, I have to say, it came off pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Oh, really?
And I know it's different for everybody, but after a while I was kind of like, okay, maybe I should try on my like pre-pregnancy pants just to see if they'll fit.
Yeah.
So I think each person is different, and so just because like breastfeeding helps some people lose the weight, it doesn't for others, and it could as soon as you stop breastfeeding. Who
See,
knows?
I never
Kelly, we're
breastfed.
cutting you off.
Yeah, that's it. I never
that's
breastfed, and
No.
the weight came off pretty. Like, I still have 15 pounds to lose to be at pre-pregnancy weight, but I kind of like my body a
crazy,
bit
yeah.
now because I find I have more curve.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
hips kind of shifted a bit. Before I was just plain white girl body, like just like a
Sorry.
board, just
Yeah.
like no curve. No matter how much I worked out, it was just skinny
Yeah.
and straight. And now I feel like I have a little bit more curve. So, I mean, that 15 pounds isn't. Like, I'd like to
Like,
lose it in my
tone a little
belly
bit or
and my
something,
arms.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the extra weight in my boobs is fine, and the butt is fine. But I just like to tone. But it's like, who has time? Like, I guess you shift your priorities. But like, we're podcasting now and we're getting famous. Like, I don't have time to like
That's the priority.
time to work out.
I know for me, like, you said like trying on your pre-pregnancy clothes. That is a no-go.
I
don't think I'll ever fit back into my pre-pregnancy clothes. Like,
but don't you ever like pick up your
my
jeans
hips,
and you're like, I'll fit. Like, yeah, I fit back in these, and then you go to put them on, and you're
I
like,
look at them now and I'm like, how did I ever get this over my like butt? My butt is huge. I'm like, how did I ever get these like above my knees, pretty much? And I have like, I kind of was like curious one day, and I have like tried to like put on some of my jeans, and I'm like, oh my god, I could barely even get them up my thighs.
Oh,
Like barely. So anyways, I had to go shopping and buy a bunch of new stuff, which is
also
fine.
fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're like,
It's okay.
new wardrobe? Sure,
Yeah.
let's go shopping.
Buy some new stuff.
for me, like I was probably like, well, I've always been a little bit bigger, so I was a little bit overweight too before I got pregnant, and then because I had gestational diabetes, I didn't get to splurge, so I only gained the 15 pounds. And then I think my body, like metabolism, because I'd been eating so well in the last part of my pregnancy, had already kind of kicked in. So once he came and then I was breastfeeding, I lost like 25 pounds in like the first month probably.
wow.
But then I have not lost another pound since then. I've stayed there. But I mean, that's okay as long as I'm not gaining. But I definitely want to. About the body image thing, I actually feel pretty good. I already had lots of stretch marks on my boobs and on my thighs and stuff because when I was younger, I got like tall and big boobs fast and then just kind of stopped. But I do have stretch marks on my stomach. But I actually ended up, I don't know if you guys got your stretch marks got itchy.
Oh yeah,
Mine-
I actually knew when I was getting stretch marks because like when I was pregnant, I was in the shower.
Yeah.
And I just felt like extremely
You
itchy.
felt yourself stretching?
And I actually like scratched, and the next day my whole stomach was like spider webbed.
Oh,
It was crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
Mine were itchy afterwards. So, and then all of a sudden I looked one day and they were bright red and like swollen almost. And then I was like, oh my gosh. So I actually went to the doctors, and if you Google it, it's like a thing. It's something about them like healing or whatever. But I took coconut oil and sugar and scrubbed them every single day for like a week, and then they got better. And now they're not red or anything anymore. They're like quite
Like the white silver.
yeah,
really
yeah. They
See, I'm
I think
waiting
that
mine
they
for mine
faded a
to
lot
fade out.
faster.
Because I still have purple ones.
Yeah.
Coconut oil and sugar.
Coconut oil and sugar, yeah. Google. I tried so many different things, and I would stand in the kitchen with my shirt off and a big slab of coconut oil and sugar and exfoliate my belly. And it first of all, it felt so good because they were
Some
itchy.
Yeah.
frozen rice between your butt cheeks.
And then it healed them up like super fast, and they're
This
actually
was
quite
after the
faded
baby.
after the baby. Yeah, when they were like healing or whatever, sometimes they I guess can get inflamed and itchy, and it's a sign of them healing. But it was horrible. So I did that and it felt a lot better. But yeah, mostly I just.
I wonder what. Good thing you don't have neighbors facing the back of your house.
Oh my gosh.
Because she's always naked in her kitchen. Always.
I
Every
do have a
day, all the
pathway.
time.
I do have like a pathway. I've never have clothes on at home. Like
Everyone, there's a free show.
yeah. Well,
All of a sudden, there's like a parade marching down.
Yeah.
There's just Jenna in her kitchen, butt naked with her oils, like lathering herself in
Yeah.
oils.
Or rice packs.
Oh my
and, like-
God.
well, sometimes you just get tired, like breastfeeding too, like taking off your shirt and like, or if you end up, some days I wear a shirt that's probably not best for breastfeeding, but I really want to wear it. And then by the third time I have to take it all the way off, I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere for a few hours. I'm just going to leave it off.
Yeah, I like to wear a robe in my house.
Yeah.
Because then I can just, like, if someone did come to the door or I needed to get up and do something, I can at least cover myself up.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice because,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to have a shirt that you have to lift up
Yeah.
or, like, unclip a bra or anything like that. You just open it up.
Yeah.
After a while, you just get used to wearing whatever is comfortable, whatever is easiest for them to
whatever
feed.
doesn't have too much puke on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wardrobe kind of goes out the window with
Yeah.
like, that's not going to be an easy feeding shirt, so that'll go back in the closet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but overall, I actually feel pretty good about my body and about my
I feel a lot better than I thought I was
Yeah,
gonna feel. Because
100%.
like when I gained those
Yeah.
50 pounds, at the time it was like, whatever. But I knew deep down, I was like, once I have this baby, I'm gonna be depressed because I was always so body conscious. And then it's crazy, like you were saying, how your priorities just shift.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
I don't
I
know.
think
Now the cupcake's more important than
Yeah.
the treadmill.
Yeah.
it's
Tastes
like
better for sure.
and it's like
Like,
I did a
should
good
treat
job
myself.
today.
I've been
I did a good job
busy.
today.
I've
Yeah.
kept a little human alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we're
deserve a
not like, you know,
cupcake.
we're not indulging in other things as much anymore either. And
Yeah.
you know, so you do have just to find these little moments in the day that just, you know, spark joy.
Yeah.
And cookies spark
Cookies,
joy.
cupcakes, you
Yeah.
name it. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was like a really great conversation today,
Yeah.
girls. I thank you for your honesty. We don't have a really great outlet for reviews on our podcast. I don't think Spotify allows them. Apple Podcasts does. So if you're listening to this or you've listened to any of our other episodes, we'd love to hear what you think. Only if it's good. No. We'd love
You
to
guys suck. Give it up.
you make
We
my
don't get
ears
offended
bleed.
easy,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
But no, seriously, if you wanted to review us on Instagram, it's at The Real Mom Gang. You can search us on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on our website, which is therealmomgang.com. And we'd love to hear from you, or any kind of ideas you have or questions you have for any of the girls. I think we've kind of all been through anything you can possibly imagine.
And there's nothing that we won't answer. Like,
No,
we're
yeah.
an open
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. We'll try
If
not
we
to
don't have
embarrass
an
our
answer,
husbands
we'll
too
create
much.
an
but-
answer.
Sometimes we say something and then we think, what happens when people listen, like my mother or like my husband or anybody listens to this and it's like, but
Well,
you know
we just
what?
want to be honest.
Yeah.
It
we're
is what
just
it
honest.
is, and
Yeah.
we've actually already had some people say like, "Wow, that's really relatable," or "I didn't know everybody felt like that," or
Yeah.
things like that. So we hope that you enjoy it. And next week, we haven't decided what we're going to talk about yet, but we will definitely post it on our Instagram in the next couple days. So watch out for that.
Yeah.
And The Real Mom Gang out.
Bye.
Bye.